Hi class, this is Professor Viersen, and I wanted to help you with the homework problem. I believe it's number 9, and it's E5-35. And I wanted to show you how to do the production report for a department where you actually have units that are transferred in. And the production report is broken up into 5 steps. And the first step is to account for those physical units. And I already put the title in here so we could kind of move quickly through this first process. But I have beginning work in process plus the units that are transferred in during December. And notice the wording. It says physical units to account for. And then to reconcile this amount, and I'll put the numbers in. So this is 9,000 and then 23,000, which is a total of 32,000. Now, if I look at my data table, it doesn't tell me the number of units that were completed, but it tells me my ending work in process is 2,000. And of course, I'm reconciling the fact that we have total physical units to account for of $32,000. Notice that there's a little bit of wording difference between physical units to account for, physical units accounted for. Sometimes that trips students up. It's just a wording. Don't worry about it. Just use the wording we have down. Okay, so here's step 1, our physical units. Next, we want to calculate the amount of equivalent units. That's step 2 in the production report. Because these units are all completed and transferred out, I just simply carry over 30,000. They're completed, so that means the equivalent unit is 100%. For the ending work in process, the units that we transferred in always are 100% for ending work in process. It's also 100% for direct materials because up here it says materials are added at the beginning of the process. If they were added at the end of the process, this would be 0. For the ending work in process, the conversion then will go over here where it says ending work in process is 70%. So 70% times 2,000 is 1,400. So my total equivalent units are 32,000 for transferred in, 32,000 for direct materials, and 31,400 for the conversion cost units. So step 2, I calculated my equivalent units. Step 3 now is I want to account for all of the costs. So I will have the cost of the beginning work in process. I'm going to add the costs plus the costs that were added during December. This will give my total cost to account for. So transferred in costs, and I'm taking all of this again from the data table. Here it says work in process, 1,600 for transferred in. Direct materials, 20,450. Conversion cost, 37,890. I have a total column here that I hope I get right. 50,000, 59,940. And then I take a look at the second. Now the costs that were added, they give me all of the costs that were added right here. And those costs that were added will be transferred in costs of 97,600, 53,000. Again, I'm just using the table to get these numbers. And then 90,850. And the total for all of those costs are 241,600. And again, you can use the calculator, which is fine. Adding these two numbers together, 99,200, 73,600. I'm just adding these columns together. 128,740. And then, of course, my total costs, which I'll use to reconcile when I assign them, is 340. So step 3 is I account for all of the costs. Now, step 4, I'm going to calculate what is in the ending costs, or I should say what is going to be dividing. I'm going to now divide this by the amount of equivalent units. So I'm going to divide it by the total equivalent units, which I calculated in step 2. Okay, so going back to step 2, I had 32,000 transferred in equivalent units. I had 32,000 of direct material, and I had 31,400. I know that's a little rough, but step 4 is that we're going to take the total cost to account for divided by the number of equivalent units, and this will give us our cost per equivalent units. And I'm going to use 2 decimal places, so $3.10, $2.30, and $4.10. Check my answer. So I have the first 4 steps of the production report completed. Okay? The last step is assigning the cost then to both those units that are completed and transferred out, which I did the equivalent units in step 2, and the ending work in process. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to have the number of equivalent units that were completed and transferred out, 30,000, 30,000, and 30,000. I'm going to multiply that by the cost per equivalent unit. I did this in step 4, $3.10, $2.30, $4.10. And when I multiply these together, it will give me the costs that are assigned to the completed and transferred out of $93,000, $69,000, $123,000, and totaling all of these up, $285,000. So I took the equivalent units. Oops, I have a mistake here. So I took the equivalent units that I got from step 2 up here, completed and transferred out, equivalent units, multiplied it by step 4, the cost per equivalent units I put in here, and now these are the costs I'm assigning to those units that are completed and transferred out. I take a look now at the ending work in process, and I want to put in the equivalent units in the ending work in process. I'm going to multiply this times the cost per equivalent unit again. And of course, the end result will be the costs that are assigned to the ending work in process. Okay, scroll back up, find the number of equivalent units. 2,000 for transferred in, 2,000 for direct materials, 1,400 for conversion from step 4, $3.10, $2.30, and finally $4.10. I probably should have put these labels in ahead of time, but let's just go ahead and complete this problem as we have it now. 4,600, and the last one is going to be 5,700 and $40. Okay, if I've totaled this up correctly, it'll be 16,540. I account by adding these two together. I hope it comes up to the same total I got into step 3, 301, 540. Check my answer. It's correct. Okay, so I did that very quickly, but the idea is process costing basically use what's called a production report. It has step 1 is the physical count or the physical flow. Step 2, you convert that into equivalent units. Step 3, you account for all of the costs in the beginning work in process and those costs that are added. Step 4, you calculate the cost per equivalent units, and step 5, use step 2 and 4 to assign those costs to both the ones that are completed and transferred out, and the ones in the ending work in process. Well, good luck, students, and I'll talk to you soon.